Hi folks, this is Tom with AlumiGlo Lighting. Today I want to talk to you about our FlounderPro 4400 X1. Now the X1 just means it's a one color light. So as you know, we've made this light for many years. We've made it one color, 5000K or 3000K, and we made it dual color, which means that the light could be either used in 5000K or 3000K. So the majority of people we talked to said that 90% of the time they're using 5000K. Even though the lights, we've sold for the last couple of years and a lot of our rigs are dual color, nobody was using a 3000K and they were just using the 5000K, which is pure white. So in the color spectrum, you go from a blue high, 7,000 or 8,000K down to 5,000K, which is pure white right in the middle, and then you start dropping down to 3,000K, which is more amber. Amber colors are good for dirty water. So if you're fishing in really murky, dirty water, the 3000K, sometimes can allow you to see the bottom better. So it does have its advantages in really dirty water. But most people, if you're flounder gigging or bully netting, you're typically in moderately clear to clear water, and the 5000K just seems to overall work better. So, even though we made the dual color light for the last couple of years, which we will still have replacement lights for anybody who's bought those lights, that's not a problem. But we are going to revert back to a single color 5000K lights, just simply because that's what most people use, and it's easier for most people to operate one color versus two colors, and it's less expensive for us to make as well. So this is a 40 watt 5000K light, 4400 X1. It does have threads on the back of it, so you can use a PVC fitting to install it yourself on your own rig, just by screwing it in, if that's what you want to do. To be honest with you folks, we don't use the threads on the back of this. We made this light a number of years ago with that in mind, but we found out there's a couple problems with doing that, and you can still do it, but a couple of things I want to caution you about. So if you use this PVC fitting, and say you got a piece of PVC here and you've already mounted that to your PVC, you slide this light in and you start screwing it in. When you start screwing it in, you got to remember one thing: this wire is already connected up here, and when you start turning that, it twists this wire back here, and so you can twist this wire and break it on the back of the light. So you got to be really careful. What we tell people is before you start turning it in this way, before you start tightening it, do 3 turns to the left, and that's basically unscrewing it. 3 turns to the left, because that's this wire, you got to remember, stabilized back here. So you're going to go 3 times to the left, which twists that wire left, and then you're going to put it up against your PVC fitting, and then you're going to go to your right 3 times. Or 3 or 4, whatever it's going to take to just snug it up, and then that'll keep that wire from twisting and breaking the back part of that light. So just be careful if you do that. One other thing I want to tell you is when you tighten these lights up in these PVC fittings like this, folks, don't over tighten it, because this light is made in 2 pieces. And if you over tighten this light, if you really snug it down, really torque it down, thinking you're going to really waterproof it, this light's 2 pieces. So this back threaded piece is separate from the body of the light. So it's put together and it's stamped together and sealed. So if you torque it down too tight, you can break the back out of this light and the light's going to leak. So do not over tighten. We don't use the fittings at all, folks. When we make all of our PVC stuff, we just use the actual elbows, 1 1/4 inch elbows. And the nice thing about that is you can slide the lights into any kind of an 1 1/4 inch fitting. They slide right in there, and then we just use screws on the side. So you got a screw here and a screw on this side, and we just tighten those down. Those screws actually go in right up against the threads on the light, and tighten that down, and that's all you have to do. You do not, a lot of folks make the mistake thinking they have to make their PVC watertight. You do not have to do that. There's no reason to. The lights are completely waterproof. Our cords are waterproof. There's no reason to keep the inside of your PVC completely dry. You're not going to keep it dry anyway, folks. No matter what you do, you're not going to. So we don't even try. We use screws. We screw everything together. That way, if you got to replace the light, if you got to replace the fitting, you can just take screws out, pull this thing apart, pull your lights out, and you're done. If you glue everything together and start using this kind of stuff, if you have a problem with a light or an elbow, you're screwed. You got to cut it apart and you got to start over again. I just had a guy call me a couple days ago tell me exactly that. So just use stainless steel screws, folks. It's a lot easier to do. So what we do is we screw everything together, like I said, and on the bottom of our fixture, we drill a hole. And so there's just a hole right in the bottom. So when you pull your light out of the water, all the water in your PVC just drains right out of the bottom and you're good to go. So there's no reason really to use the threads. It was something we did a few years ago. I've thought about changing it. But some people still use the threaded part. Maybe because they don't realize you don't have to. All you got to do is use them 2 screws. So this is a 40 watt light. It's got a single 40 watt cob LED in it. It's got a 60-degree reflector in it, which puts out a really nice cone of light, so it's 60 degrees. Now our bigger GTX lights are 120, so they're a lot wider throw, but this one does pretty well, especially when you use 3 light heads on it. And it's also a great walking light, so you can use this light as a walking light. It works really good. It's all anodized aluminum, so the salt water is not going to bother it. The light does come with a waterproof X2 plug on it. It also comes with this pigtail that just plugs in as well. So if you want to wire your own, you can. It's got spliced ends, so you can wire it into your own power cord, or you can get ARC cords that fit these. You unplug that and you just plug ARC cords directly into it, and you're good to go again. So that's about all there is to it. Again, this is a single color 5000K light. And if you got any questions on this light or any of our products, folks, give us a call on number 785-621-2646.